Imagine this: 9 experienced hikers, young, trained, confident. They set out into the mountains, and they never came back. Weeks later, rescuers find their campsite, the tent cut open from the inside, footprints leading away barefoot into freezing darkness, and then the bodies scattered across the snow in ways that don't make sense. Some frozen, some badly injured, one missing a tongue. No signs of a fight, no clear cause, just one terrifying question. What could make 9 trained hikers leave safety and walk into minus 30 degrees Celsius like that? Because what happened that night still hasn't been explained. This is the Dyatlov Pass Incident. And the deeper you go into the story, the more disturbing it becomes.
Before we ask what killed them, we need to understand who they were. This wasn't a random group. They were experienced hikers from the Ural Polytechnical Institute, led by Igor Dyatlov, a calm, precise, highly respected leader. These people were trained to survive blizzards, extreme cold, isolation. Some had already completed the most difficult expedition levels available at the time, meaning this: if anyone could survive that mountain, it was them. They planned everything: food, route, equipment, and most importantly, they documented everything. Photos, journals, notes, which means we can trace their journey. And at the beginning, everything looked normal, almost too normal. So where did it go wrong? Late January 1959, they begin their journey deep into the Ural Mountains. This wasn't just a hike, this was isolation. No phones, no rescue teams on standby, no second chances. At one point, one member turns back due to illness, a small decision that saved his life. The remaining 9 continue forward. The weather gets worse, wind stronger, visibility lower. But still, nothing unusual. Until February 1st, that's the last day they were confirmed alive. And what they did that night is still questioned today. Instead of moving down into the forest, they stopped on an exposed slope of Prolat-Sayakal, a place known as Dead Mountain. Now here's the question: why would experienced hikers choose the most dangerous place to camp? At some point in the night, they made a decision. Fast, unplanned, terrifying. They cut open their tent from the inside and stepped out into the storm, not fully dressed, some without shoes. Think about that. You don't leave warm in those conditions unless staying inside feels worse. Much worse. But here's the strange part. There were no signs of panic inside the tent, no struggle, no chaos, which means they chose to leave. But why? What could scare them without leaving a trace? When rescuers followed the footprints, they expected chaos, but instead they found something chilling. Calm steps. No running, no panic, just a slow, controlled walk into the darkness. Why would they walk instead of run? The trail led to a forest. Under a tree, they found 2 bodies, barely clothed, hands burned. They had tried to survive, made a fire, climbed the tree, maybe to see the tent, maybe to see what they were escaping from. And what they discovered next was even worse. Between the forest and the tent, 3 more bodies were found. This tells us something important. They tried to go back to safety, back to warmth, but one by one, they collapsed. The cold didn't just kill them, it stopped them mid-journey, and they never made it. Months later, the last 4 bodies were found. And this is where the mystery becomes disturbing. Their injuries were not from cold. They had crushed ribs, severe skull damage, but almost no external wounds, like something hit them with massive force without leaving visible marks. One of them was missing a tongue, and even today, no explanation fully fits. Animals? Maybe. But then, what caused the injuries? Some clothes showed traces of radiation. Witnesses reported glowing orange lights in the sky, and then the official statement, an unknown compelling force. Not an answer, a mystery. Some theories say avalanche. Some say military testing. Some say infrasound, a natural force that can cause fear and panic. But none of them explain everything. And that's the problem. 9 people walked into the mountains, and something made them walk out into the cold toward their deaths. Not running, not screaming, just walking. That's what makes this story different, because whatever happened, it didn't just kill them, it controlled their decisions. And maybe that's the most disturbing part, because if something can do that without leaving a trace, then the real question is, did we ever truly understand what happened that night? Or are we still missing something?